Amanda. I started creating my own content last year. It's been a little bit over a year now. I think it was last January. And I'll share my screen with you guys so you can kind of follow along with my Google Slides presentation. But if you haven't seen what Amanda is talking about, so I started creating Bachelor videos last year. So I'm obsessed with the show, and I decided to start reenacting each episode, each character dressing up as boys and girls, putting makeup on as facial hair, as you can see in some of the pictures. And then I just started doing it for every episode and every season because people start to like it. So my presentation tonight is just from personal experience. I am not an expert. I've never taken a class on this. So don't, if my ideas aren't necessarily right, it's just what's worked for me, how I've kind of grown, and what I would recommend to someone starting out. So who am I? We kind of just learned. At any time also, if you want to unmute yourself, if you have a question, I'm going to do a Q&A at the end as well, but if there's something in particular that you want to stop at, just either use the chat bar at the bottom or just unmute yourself and say, I have a question. Okay. Does anyone want to see a clip of a video to see what we're actually talking about? Or no? Yes? Amanda says yes. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, let's do my finale. Hopefully everyone knows what The Bachelor is. Okay, I need to make sure you guys can hear my sound. My students couldn't, but hopefully we will. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Can't hear it.
Kelly, I couldn't hear it. I don't know if anybody.
Okay. No, I have to change a setting to allow the computer sound. Well, you guys can see, you get the idea, right? I'm putting on wigs. I am playing boys and girls. This was the crazy mom. But I do it for every episode. So that's kind of, that's how I kind of started off, and I've transitioned a little bit into now doing Love is Blind. Okay, let's get this screen back. Okay, so what is content? It can be anything. So I do videos, but photos, like you guys have probably followed Instagram accounts of like really great recipes and their whole account is food, or fitness people and their whole account is workout videos. Content can be photos, videos, blogs, any type of entertainment, even memes. So this guy here in the corner, Brett Vergara, I became internet friends with him. He does Bachelor memes, and then he kind of just went into just doing all sorts of funny stuff. But he is super, he's on podcasts all the time now. He has like 70,000 followers on Twitter because he's just funny, and all he does is memes, funny pictures and captions. So that's content. It can be anything. Obviously, mine are videos. I'm assuming a lot of you guys are more interested in videos as actors, but it doesn't have to be. So we're going to talk about what type of content should you create. So the way that I thought of doing my Bachelor videos, I knew I wanted to do something put out on the internet because I wanted to be kind of working more, and not, as an actor, sometimes it can be discouraging if you haven't gotten an audition in a few weeks and you're wanting to work. So I was like, what can I do on my own? So I knew I loved being silly and comedy, and I knew I loved The Bachelor. So when the season premiere came on last January for Colton, if anyone watches the show, I thought I'll just do a recap of the first episode and see if people like it, and people did. So I kept going. So I created this acronym, typos, talents, interests, passions, obsessions. So I want you guys to think of at least 2 of your typos. Any talent you have or interest, passion. I say obsession because I'm obsessed with The Bachelor. I thought that was an appropriate term. So think of at least 2. If you don't have paper, that's fine. I said write them down because I'm used to my students. And this is going to be our first stepping stone to help you think of something to create. So, some pictures here. Fitness, cooking, dancing, singing, music, anything like that. We're good? Everyone has 2 interests? Okay. And then your goal or your purpose. So, what do you want to achieve through your content? Do you want to inform people? Maybe you're super into politics and you want to do like a political blog, but make it funny. I obviously wanted to entertain people with my videos, but I also wanted to put at the bottom summarize material. So I summarized a whole 2-hour episode in less than 5 minutes with every single one of my videos. And people really appreciated that because some people didn't want to watch the 2 hours or sometimes the 3-hour finales, and they would prefer to just get the whole sum of the show in a few minutes. So sometimes you're helping people, you're making them laugh, maybe you're inspiring, you're teaching. Like Amanda said, someone last week was teaching sign language. So whatever your goal is, but you want to stick to that so that you are achieving something and you're not just kind of throwing random things out there. So you got your typos and your goal or your purpose. And so I kind of thought of this little equation. You add those together to get your content. So I added my love of comedy and Bachelor with my goal of informing people of what happened in the show, but also making them laugh. And that's how I got my content. And then I didn't want to keep talking about myself the whole time, so I created our random friend Lucy as our example. So Lucy loves her typos are cooking, singing, comedy, and Beyonce. And her goal is she wants to help people learn how to cook, provide yummy recipes for them, while also making people laugh. So she added those together, and now every week she makes cooking videos and sings her recipes to the tune of Beyonce songs, and she names her recipes after the Beyonce songs. Hashtag Who Run the World Tacos. I completely made this up, but I thought that was a good example. It doesn't have to be as specific as that. It could just be cooking videos, and I'll get to that too. It doesn't have to be something that nobody's done before. All right, so there's our little equation. Stop me if I'm going too fast, anyone. All right, and then finding your niche, or however you'd like to pronounce this word, your niche. So to me, once you've kind of come up with your idea, your content idea, you've simultaneously found your niche. So mine is Bachelor recap videos. It's pretty specific. Lucy, our random friend, hers is Beyonce cooking videos. But like I just said, it does not have to be something that someone's never done before. Other people do Bachelor recap videos. I actually got some of the inspiration from a previous Bachelor who did a few videos dressed up as a girl and put on wigs and stuff. He did like 4 and then he stopped doing them. Then a year later, I was like, huh, he's not doing those anymore. I think I can do them also in a different way. And people liked it. Also, if you think about it, I was saying there's so many cooking Instagram accounts, so many workout accounts. They're really kind of the same, right? But they're good. So as long as your quality is good and you're fulfilling a purpose. So for instance, these fitness people, their purpose is to help you work out. I follow about 10 or 15 different workout accounts. They're really not different, but they're all good and I like them. So don't think that your idea has to be super unique. At the bottom, can my niche expand in the future? Yes. So like I was saying, I have started doing different, not just Bachelor because it's not on TV right now. So once you kind of get your flow going, you can start kind of branching out. All right. How do I capture or film my content? So I literally use my iPhone. It's not the greatest, but I don't have $1,000+ right now, so I use what I've got. It does the job. It's decent. My videos look pretty good, I think. I mean, they do well, so I guess people like think they look well. So I just use my camera on my iPhone. I have a little tripod. It was $30 on Amazon. I put the picture here. And it came with that light, which I actually have in front of my laptop right now. Woo, it's bright, but it's just that circle. And then my backdrop, thanks Mom, she gave this to me. It's just a big piece of blue fabric. And it's kind of like felt, I think that's the right word. So it doesn't wrinkle, it just lays really nicely. And I just literally tack it on my wall. Some of you guys are fancy and have like the actual backdrops. But as you can see here, nothing I have is super fancy or expensive. So it can be, you can be creative with whatever you've kind of got in your house. All right, consistency. So once you've filmed your video or you've taken your photos or whatever it is with your content, be consistent with it. So post it. Did anyone just hear my fiance burp? Sorry if you did. Be consistent. So when The Bachelor is airing, it comes on every Monday. So what I do is after it ends on Monday night at 10 p.m., I go to bed. Tuesday, I film. And then Wednesday, I edit all day and then I post it Wednesday night. So my followers know every Wednesday night when The Bachelor's on, they can come to my profile, all my profiles, and find my video. And that's really important because it keeps the traffic coming. I also keep the length about the same because again, if people are coming to watch something, they know what they're coming for. They want it to be what they're used to. So mine are always 5 minutes or less. I also think it's important to keep them shorter because you guys probably agree, we don't have the longest attention spans. So on the internet, people get distracted super easily. If they don't love your video within the first 10 seconds, they're not going to watch anymore. So keep it on the shorter side, get all your info in quickly, and don't let it drag on. And have your content be consistent. This sounds really obvious, but I was noticing I have a friend, she's super funny. I actually have only met her once, but I call her my friend. She's out in LA now. But I noticed the videos she posts are very different, every single one. They're very funny, but I never know what she's gonna come out with, which I guess is good sometimes, but I'm never engaged because when the video starts, I'm like, what is this? I don't know the topic here. I'm not trying to sound mean, but I think it's important that you keep your topic at least similar, keep your style similar so people are used to you and they come to like that when they come back to your profile to watch more. Format is consistent, so keep the editing similar. Don't have like one video with, I don't know, way different lighting or something like that. Or like super loud music, and then your next one is completely different. And remind your audience of your next post. So I definitely felt annoying when I started doing this, and I was actually afraid to start doing my own content because I didn't want to be one of those people that was like, oh my gosh, check my profile next week. Here's a new post from me. Like, it feels sometimes very, what's the word? Rachel, unmute yourself. You have a good word for me?
Not authentic
Yeah,
or
and it
organic.
feels maybe braggy or something, but you have to just be confident in yourself, and just again, I can't think of the word, but be confident. You're not bragging, you're just promoting yourself, and sometimes you've got to do that. Yeah,
Attraction, not
narcissistic.
promotion.
Yeah.
You probably like attraction, not promotion.
Right,
Versus
right,
promotion, not attraction. Right.
right. Yes, that's
Okay.
a good description.
Yeah, there's so much. This is Beth. There's so much out there. It can be real easy to oversell yourself,
Right.
and people they just move on.
Exactly. So there's like a fine line, but it's also necessary because no one would have seen my videos if I wasn't posting them everywhere and sending them to people. So, um, yeah, it's you got to do it. Just try to find a balance, you know. Just know that you're not annoying. So, this is something I found to be very important that I learned later on. So when I first started doing the videos, I was not adding a cover photo or subtitles. I would just use like a random clip from the video as the cover, you know, it lets you do that. Hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. But no one could really tell what my video was by just looking at it because it didn't have a title that said Bachelor Recap, which now I do that and you can see in the slides there. Um, and subtitles I learned help boost your views as well because there's a lot of people who are hearing impaired. I've gotten a lot of messages from the deaf community thanking me for adding subtitles because now they can enjoy it. And I never thought of that beforehand. So that's super important. Also, just, you know, maybe you're at the doctor's office, you're scrolling through your phone watching videos, you don't want it to be loud audio, you can still follow along with the subtitles in whatever video it is. So that's really important. Canva is a great website to help make those cover photos. I think Amanda used that for the cover of this little content creation. Um, I just discovered that. So I used to make my covers with Google Slides, which is here in this recap video cover, which isn't the cutest, but it did the job. So now I'm going to experiment with Canva and make them much more professional looking. And then I do my subtitles in YouTube. So once I upload my video, there's a tool that's subtitle creation. It takes a while. It auto generates for you, but I noticed that it's not very good. And it'll put like 3 run-on sentences in one, and I'll have spelling errors. And I wasn't a fan. I wanted mine to be actually really good. So I would erase the auto generator and do it myself. It does take a while. You'll learn that all of this takes a while, but it's worth it to make really quality content. All right. So branding yourself, like I said, you might feel annoying or self-absorbed, but people got to know who you are. They got to know what you're doing and be proud of what you've accomplished. So thanks to Amanda, taught me to put my profession in my name here. So my profile, Kelly Johns actor. So when people search for me, this pops up and they know exactly who I am right away. They know I'm an actor. My account is also my name. Unfortunately, Kelly Johns was taken, so it's Kel Johns. And I really want the girl who has Kelly Johns. It's an inactive account. She doesn't ever post, and it's from like 2014. But anyways, so if your account is like Princess 42, you know, people might not know who you are. So make everything flow and have your name.
Could you
Um,
use the Kelly Johns? I see that a lot with
Probably.
people in the business.
Yeah, I kind of, I don't know, what do you think, Amanda? Should I keep, since I've built my biggest following on Instagram, you think I should just keep it, or, I mean, for another day, but that's a good idea, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I would try. Because really in the search engine, as long as they type in Kelly Johns and Kelly Johns is in that descriptor part of it, so even if so that would still pop up. So it's really more of a visual thing.
Got
That
it.
adding that actor is just another search engine. So if people type in
Mhm.
actor, you're just one of many accounts that will come up based on that word profile. But yeah, you could try that. Have you tried messaging the other account?
No, she has literally like nothing on her account. I'll try though.
Send it to me and I'll send something like that is like official, that looks
Okay.
official, and sometimes they get scared into doing it. So we'll try
Great.
that. But no, I like if that's available, I think the Kelly Johns would be and nice, and it would as long as they type in Kelly Johns, it would
Yeah.
still.
Or even like I'm Kelly Johns.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I love the putting actor in your name. That's
Yeah.
And I would do that too. Like I have a few clients that will do a couple of different things. Like, so if you're an influencer as well, I mean, you only have so much space and so much that you can type, but so you could put Kelly Johns actor / influencer or actor / chef or whatever it is that you're doing, if it's a multi purpose. But definitely you guys all should have actor, and you all should have who you're represented by. I've had at least 30 in the last couple months of casting directors that have contacted me first, because like they've noticed that who they're represented by, um, and then I have people that are with other agencies as well, and then I send it on to their agent if they happen to bring it to us. But it should be on your IMDb, your contacts, if you have an entertainment lawyer, if you have a publicist, all of those people should be listed, because that's where press and casting directors and producers and stuff will go to find out how to reach you. So
Right.
I'm getting myself.
Awesome. Yeah, so I've got who I'm represented by, and then also I keep my profile picture the same across accounts so that it's just easy for them to identify you. I added my Twitter handle because I put my videos there as well. They get some good traction there. I should probably add my YouTube. I don't know if there's room. I think it cut me off last time I tried. Sometimes I alternate. I have my IMDb there. Sometimes I'll put the YouTube link instead. Kind of alternate every now and then. So add all that so everyone can kind of find all your info in one place. And then I added a few months ago hashtag The Bachelor Recap Girl. I kind of named myself because I noticed a couple people were kind of calling me that. Oh, you're the recap girl. And I'm like, okay. So I added that. It kind of makes me look more official. I changed it to and reality TV recaps because I started doing Love is Blind as well. So yeah, make sure you've got all that in your profile. And then share on all platforms. So my mom, who I think is still in here, hey mom, she was right on this. So I've got to give her credit. When I first started doing the videos in 2019 January, I was only putting them on Instagram because I was like, oh, I don't really have much of a following anywhere else, so I'm not even gonna try. And my mom was like, well, just put them everywhere just in case. She's like, what about Twitter? I said, nobody's gonna watch them on Twitter. And Twitter's actually where I've gotten the most views. So thank you, Mom. Put them everywhere because you never know who's gonna see it. And it's just more exposure for you, more views. Now we've got TikTok, which I'm still trying to figure out a little bit. I feel like I'm a little old, but you can only do 1 minute at a time on TikTok. So sometimes I just do clips and then I say, go watch the full version on YouTube or on my Instagram. Or I'll just add multiple and say, this is part 1, part 2. But put them everywhere. And I said, can you think of any others? Those were the ones I thought of. Anyone think of any other platforms?
Do you have your own website?
Yes, but no one ever goes to it. When I Google it, it's like way off on the list. My YouTube and everything comes up first. But yeah, I made a website like 2 years ago, but it doesn't really get any traction because people go to social media instead. Anyone else? Yeah, I think those are the main 5. All right. And then promoting, this is all kind of common sense, so we'll kind of fly through this, but obviously hashtags, we all know that. And obviously that hashtags that coincide with your content. So our friend Lucy with her Beyonce cooking, she would use all these hashtags probably. I use Bachelor, Bachelor Recap, Bachelor ABC, Bachelor Nation, Bachelorette, Bachelor Mondays. You can put your name in there too. So when people search your name, that pops up, your agency and your publicist. The more the merrier, but sometimes people add like 40, too much. So 10 is probably a good 9, 10. Beyond that, it's a little redundant, but I'm not a social media expert when it comes to hashtags. And then also send your stuff to people. So again, I felt kind of awkward at first, like sending it saying, hey, please watch my stuff, but it worked. And that's how people, when I sent it to Bachelor contestants, they started sharing it on their stories, and that's kind of when it started getting good traction. So I would just send and say, hey, I hope you enjoy my video. If you enjoy, please share. And then some people, only a few would, but those few had 50,000 followers or more. So don't be afraid to do that, because especially right now with quarantine, people are bored and they will appreciate watching new stuff. And then who should you send it to? So people within your niche. So Lucy would send hers to Beyonce fan pages or other singers in the area or chefs, popular cooking accounts. She probably wouldn't send it to, like, I don't know, Taylor Swift accounts, because that wouldn't quite fit. I put other singers, but so like I said, I sent mine to multiple Bachelor contestants, also radio hosts, entertainment personalities, of course, my friends and family, asking them to share. So anything in the realm, just to get it out there more. You never know who's going to see it. And lastly on this, follow and comment on accounts within your niche. So I would go onto other Bachelor contestants, and if they were posting about the show, I would comment and say, oh yeah, I loved this episode, go check out my recap on my profile, or like, oh, I loved you on last season, whatever. And just engage with them so they see you popping up on their account and they're more inclined to go click on you and see what you're about. Follow them, of course. So example of Lucy, she would comment on a music video maybe and say, hey, I love this. Go check out my cooking video. Wow, these cupcakes look great. I'll have to make those for my next video. Just engaging in people. And it also makes you look authentic, that you're not just this like robot. Okay, this is maybe the most important, and I still struggle with this, is being patient when it comes to your audience. So I've been lucky with the success of mine, but I'm still a part-time teacher, and I'm not making millions of dollars like some Instagram people, but I do it because I enjoy it, and I think that's really the main message here. I should have done a whole slide on that, is make sure you're having fun and know that you're either making people laugh, you're informing them of something, you're teaching them, and that's really what this is all about. So don't become fixated on your follower count, your numbers of views. It's really just focus on making good stuff that people will enjoy and that you'll enjoy making as well. So like for instance, sometimes my videos, one week on Twitter, one of my videos got, because a girl retweeted, a girl who was on the show and she's super popular, she retweeted and it ended up getting 700,000 views, and I was like so excited. But then, maybe the next week I only got on YouTube, for instance, I get way less views. Certain videos only get 1,000 versus on Instagram 50,000. And it's so different. And I would at first get kind of upset, like, why is no one liking it on here? I don't know. Maybe it's because at least I know I'm not super active on YouTube like I am on Instagram, and maybe that's more common for people my age. I don't know. But you just never know. Week by week, it could be different. If one super important person shares that week and it blows up, but then the next week they don't share, that's what I've found. Just don't become obsessed with that, because it can get to you and it can bring you down. But you're not doing this just for the followers and just for the views. Really go back to your goal. Why are you doing this? And that should keep you happy. So I've gotten a lot of messages from people that say, oh, this is the highlight of my week. You bring a smile to my face. I've been sick with this. One lady told me she had like a brain problem for like the whole year, and that I was the only one that made her laugh. And I cried. I was like, okay, this is worth it. So you really can help people. So that's really what it's all about. Oh, I want to touch on one more thing here. Communicating with your followers and with your audience. So when people comment on your videos or your posts, respond. At least try to get to the majority of people, to let them know you appreciate their support. Thanks for watching. If they have any questions, people DMing you, always try to respond, because it keeps them following you, and it's nice to show that you're thankful for the support as well. All right, so now variety, which I kind of touched on. But once you've captured that audience and with your consistency, you can start to add variety. Again, this is just kind of what I did. There's no right or wrong here if you want to start out doing super varied stuff, but this is just what worked for me. So I started doing just The Bachelor, then it was Bachelorette, then Bachelor in Paradise, and then Love is Blind came on, and people were asking me to do that, so I did it. One on Jessica. I'm going to try to get to some more of those characters. But I'm still in the realm of reality TV and making people laugh. I'm still summarizing episodes. I can still branch out. I did last year when there was like 5 months off from The Bachelor. I did 2 just goofy comedic skit type videos. But for instance, our friend Lucy, she might now expand to doing different artists than just Beyonce. So whatever you do, kind of try to stay within the realm of something so that, again, people know what to expect from you. You can still add sides of yourself. Like Amanda was saying, she didn't know I had this goofy side of dressing up and doing this comedy. So you can still show all these different sides of yourself, but try not to be too drastically different where people are like, what is this person even all about? Q&A. Okay, there's one thing I didn't touch here, which was the editing. I stick to really super, it may look like I'm good at editing, but I use the most simple program of all, which is Windows Movie Maker. They don't even like put it on your computers anymore because it's so old. But it's what I know how to use, so I use it. And I have found this website called Capwing. If you guys want to write this down, it's free. And it's what I used on my last Love is Blind video to add like this. Okay, why are you telling me? To add, I don't know why it's not letting me open it back up. This background, because Windows Movie Maker, you can't do that. So in Capwing, I added some graphics, saved that clip, and then added it into Windows Movie Maker where I knew how to manage it easier. So I literally just take all my clips from my phone. When I do my videos, there's like 100, and I send them to my computer, and then I put those clips into Windows Movie Maker, where I then clip each one, move them all around. You can add music, and then the subtitles I have to add in YouTube, and that gets real detailed. I feel like maybe we could have an expert editor on for a whole nother class, because that could take a while. But I learned everything that I do just from practicing in trial and error, in Googling, how do I add this? And it worked. So you can do it too. And I'm happy if you guys ever have questions on small editing things, you can always message me. Again, I'm no editing expert. I've just tried new things every once in a while and hope they work. Okay. I just talked forever.
I wanted to go back over real quick before they ask questions. When you were talking about people to follow, those fan pages, go after as many as possible. We've had, well, one, if they're a really big fan page, the stars usually follow them and you can kind of see. But we had one on cruise during that Jumanji time that was a Rock fan or something. And The Rock follows that particular fan page, and they had posted the picture of Cruz and Rock side by side doing the like eyebrow raise or whatever. And he liked it on that page. He didn't like it on Cruz's, but he liked it on the fan page. But yeah, anytime I've seen that a lot with some of the other clients that I have that they themselves have their own fan pages. Those people are diehard and loyal. And if you send them something and say, hey, can you help me get the word out? Or, hey, I've got this hashtag that I wanted to, try to push out there, and they do it. I mean, they will do anything, and they become your fans as well. So beyond the obvious of like following Beyonce, if that was your thing, go after those fan pages as well. And with the hashtags, you can only do 30. And what I tell my clients is to have a variety of the ones that are, and you can see when you type them in if only one person has used them, or 10,000 people have used them, or 1 million people have used them. Have a variety of, a few that are 70 million, and then have as many as you can that are under 300,000 as the majority of your hashtags. Anything if you do all of them as the multi-million used hashtags, you kind of get lost in the shuffle. So definitely use your own name. I like to see that, or the ECT, or any of those, because it really you're creating a file. So if you want to go back and look at all the posts that you've ever done, or ECT has ever done, if you're wanting inspiration, ECT rocks, ECT family, whatever you type in, it collects all of them that have used that hashtag. So it's a great resource for even just going back. I think that was all I had written down. And editing. I am super non-technical when it comes to editing. The picture that I did for yours, I used, and for all the ones that we're doing, I used PicArt.
Okay.
PixArt. Let me see if I can.
I thought you used Canva because it
I
has
did.
some graphics.
I used a combination. So,
okay.
Hold on. So that's how I get creative too, is I'll use a couple of different ones. But PixArt, I don't know if you can, is that purple one?
Okay.
So I downloaded that YouTube picture that was just the phone. And then, so the phone, that was one image. And then I took your picture, and in PicArt, there's an editing tool where you can use scissors to cut the person out and create their own sticker. So then I put your sticker onto that phone, and then I went to Canva with that image and added the paint marks and my logo and the flashy things and all of that.
Did you have to yourself cut around me, or did it do it for you?
Yes and no. So I used my finger, but it was actually pretty precise. And then it had like an eraser and something to fill in. So
I'm asking because now Canva has it'll do it for you.
Nice.
Yes,
See?
because I suck at cutting. I was trying to cut around the edges the other day. I'll show you guys real quick. Actually, I created where it probably didn't stay, but I'll show you guys because this is super helpful. Let's pretend we're creating a, I don't know, infographic. So you just go to your uploads right here. You can upload any image. So I was making stuff for my save the dates with my fiance, and I wanted all this sand out, and I just wanted it to be us. So you go to effects, background remover, and then it's going to take away, it actually took away his shorts too, because his shorts looked like the sand. But then it just leaves you with your image.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that's super helpful, and it's free. At least it is for me
Nice.
now. Yeah.
And then I use iMovie or Splice on my phone. I use that for our auditions a lot, for, you know, trimming the front and the back. And then they were talking, Karen Bowles was talking about how to add like the full body shot without getting the couch and everything and whatever's on the side of you. So I'll upload the audition, take a picture of them, but crop it so you can't see that stuff, add the image, have it do the non-transition where it just goes straight to it. And that's how I do it without, so that you can't see that we're in a bedroom or whatever.
Right.
So if you guys haven't played around with Splice, for your non-techie people, if I can do it, you for sure can do it.
Yeah.
Because I am not.
There's so many easy ones now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, are there any questions from anyone? Feel free to unmute yourselves or show us your beautiful faces.
Let me look on here.
I have a question, Kelly.
Yes.
Have you dealt with negative feedback, and how do you handle that? And also music. How do you deal with, because I know there are a bunch of music laws on YouTube, and I don't know anything about that. Maybe that's another conversation.
Yes.
Because I'm interested in that.
All right. So first question. Thankfully, I haven't dealt with much negative or mean people. I did have this one girl, I think it's a girl at least, no idea who the person is, creating multiple Twitter accounts. Every time I block this person, they'd create a new account within 5 minutes, come back at me. It was so strange. They would just say like, LOL, you think you're an actor? Go home. You're not funny. I was like, okay, yeah, you don't have to like it. I stopped responding after like the second time, but literally I think they created more than a dozen accounts. And I noticed they were also harassing this girl who was on the show. She was on The Bachelor a while ago, though, almost 10 years ago. And they would send her the same types of messages. And she noticed that that person was tweeting about me. And so she called them out. So then I started publicly calling them out, but nicely. I wasn't mean. I would just say, hey, I have no idea why you keep harassing me in my messages, but thank you for the views on my videos. And because she would clearly come back and keep watching the videos and responding to them. So I would just keep blocking, because I talked to Amanda about it too. She's like, just block, block, block. Once I finally tweeted and said that and called her out publicly, she stopped, at least for now. It's been a few months. But it was weird. I'm not gonna lie. I did get my feelings hurt for a little bit there because she was so persistent. I mean, one night, 3 different accounts within 1 hour coming at me in my inbox, and I'm like, what? Who are you? Why do you care so much about my videos? It was bizarre. Other than that, there really hasn't been any negative feedback. I'm super lucky. I take that back. There was one girl who was on The Bachelor who was offended by me reenacting her. All of the other ones, I've been really thankful that so many of the contestants have messaged me directly saying that they thought it was so funny, and they've actually thanked me for not crossing the line and making it like hateful and just making it playful. So if you do something like that, always make sure that you're not like making fun of people and being harsh. I just keep mine goofy. So No. But if people ever do come at you with hateful stuff, just kill them with kindness, or just block them right away. Don't have time for that. And then with the music, so on YouTube, yeah, so I usually add music to my credits, and it'll say like you cannot make money from this if you keep it, or you can, if it came to the point on YouTube, you have to have an insane amount of views to qualify to make a penny. It's like 40,000 hours of views or something. I may be wrong, but I feel like that's what I saw. So right now I do not qualify to make any money. Um, and so I'm not worried about the music thing because it doesn't put me at any monetary risk or whatever. So I keep it in there. If there's copyright, it'll tell me and I'll just take it off. But I always try to search for copyright free little inserts. So if I add like a clapping sound in my video, I just search copyright free audience clip, whatever. So I haven't had a whole lot of issues with that. And then on Instagram with the music, they never do anything. I don't know if they have different rules. But yeah, I always just go for it, and then I see if it pops up and tells me anything, and if I need to remove it, I will.
You can usually get away with a little more on Instagram if
Yeah.
you're sure to credit to like
Oh, okay.
the artist and whatever.
Oh, that's a good idea. I should just put that in the credits. Song by Demi Lovato, whatever.
And in your caption.
Okay.
See that if you see a lot of dancers,
Yeah.
and they're constantly using, popular people's music or whatever, but they'll put, Beyonce or whatever.
Right. That's a good idea. Yes, I will do that from now on. Anyone else?
So as long as you're putting it in the caption, is that what you're saying, Amanda?
Yeah, and I think
on Instagram.
Yeah, on Instagram.
Okay.
I would put
everywhere.
Everywhere. I would credit whoever the artist is. That way, if somebody does complain or whatever, it isn't that you're like, I mean, you can prove at least that, and like she said, once you get to the point where I'll need to look at that again, Kelly, because I actually think you may be close hours wise. I don't know. Because we had a video monetized on Sophia's that had like 100,000 views.
Okay. My YouTubes don't have that many views.
But I'll go in there and look and see, you may be getting close. The benefit to that is once, like she said, not to let that discourage you, the numbers, because I know a bunch of YouTubers that put out 30, 40, 50 videos and didn't really start seeing traction and numbers and all of that go up for sometimes a year, but then all of a sudden they one or two videos went viral and people will start going back and looking, and at that point it's kind of like a Netflix where you've got a series and they can go back and binge. Because that's what you want them to keep on your channel and keep, when the next video pops up, to keep watching it, because you need consistent minutes and hours of them watching it. So you don't want them to click and leave. You want them to stay as long as possible. 1 million views. So if you go onto YouTube and see somebody that has, say it's 1 million views, 10 million views, 70 million views, for each 1 million views, once they do qualify for that monetization, which just means that you're able to add advertising and stuff to your channel, it's about $20,000 in advertising revenue for you per million views. So when you try to figure out how YouTubers are millionaires, that's how. So you can go and look at your favorite YouTuber and kind of calculate and do the math yourself and see, hey, they've got 70 videos uploaded, and each of those has anywhere from 1 million to however many. and you get incentives for subscribers. So you'll see people with their plaques once they hit 1 million subscribers, then your percentage for what you get is in your advertising dollars changes with your growth. So like she said, like right now for you guys, you're doing it for the fun, for the experience, to practice your editing, to have people see different sides of you acting wise. And it really only takes, like she said, one, person, tweeting you out, and then that video gets 700,000 views and all those eyes are on you. And
I wish Twitter would pay me.
yeah, yeah. We're gonna have to find some creative ways to get some monetization there. I don't know how. Maybe I think with Kelly, like she's even noticed with some of ours, that's the other thing. When you're trying to bump your numbers up and things, once you get to the point where you have a lot, that's when you can go after those brand ambassador opportunities. Kelly had one, and I think they offered her like $100 or $150 to post about a product. I had a client that got $5,000 for one post and 2 stories. They have 500,000 followers. So the rate, changes obviously based on how many people you have, but content like this is what drives those numbers up, because they want to see not only your numbers, but your engagement rate, which you can check and see. And companies are paying for that. So that's part of the revenue piece that we'll talk about next week. But yeah.
Kelly, I have a question.
Yes.
Really 2 questions. My first question is, how long on average does it take you to make a recap video? And after you're done, do you like question everything and like, was it worth it? Second of all, have you found that the Bachelor videos have brought you more attention in like the theatrical acting world? Like, do you feel like you've gotten more notice by casting directors or whatever, because they've heard of you or they know who you are?
Okay, first question. It does take me a long time, but that's because I'm playing 15 different characters in one video. I'm assuming that you guys would probably make videos where you're not putting on 10 wigs and changing your makeup for every scene. So it would probably take you less time. So yeah, it takes me to film. I've kind of gotten into more of a routine now that I've done it for so long. So still though 3 to 4 hours to film. And then editing takes even longer than that because I have all those characters to then place all the clips and edit every single one. So total, it takes like 10 plus hours for every video for me. But again, that probably won't be the case for you. It still does take multiple hours to get everything good, get it all edited and get that finished product, but it probably shouldn't take you 10 hours like it takes me. And then okay, so someone else just asked a similar question to Taylor Kate in the chat. How can this translate to acting opportunities? So really it's more exposure to me, and I would assume that Amanda would echo this, is that exposure is one of your best friends in this industry. I do know for one time I went to an audition or maybe it was a workshop with 2 big casting directors. And after it was done, one of them came up to me and said, "Kelly, I love your videos online." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And she's probably mid 40s. She's a mom. She's awesome. So maybe she's more in the audience of someone who would watch The Bachelor and therefore watch my videos. But I thought that was really cool that she had been watching them as well. As for other casting directors, I have no idea. I think there's one other that has seen them, and he was liking the comedy and hadn't really seen that side of me either. So just putting yourself out there more can never hurt. You never know who's going to see it. I've made just good connections with other people in the industry, whether it's reality TV or not. It's just good to have any type of connection like that. So I have not booked any big film or TV jobs from it. But again, that's not why I'm doing it. So it just kind of goes back to your whole goal. I try not to focus on that too much about making money. Obviously, that would be really nice. And, booking some more roles from it. But at the end of the day, I do it because it makes people laugh and makes people happy. And I know that that will take me somewhere in the end also. So I hope that kind of answers your question.
Yay, thank you.
Mhm.
And I think a really easy thing that some of you could start off with, if you go and if recap, if that sounds like something that you may be interested in doing, go to YouTube and type in some different recaps. I've seen people that are super successful in recaps where they don't do everything that Kelly does, which is one of the things that I think makes her super unique, is that she does do all the different characters. But I've seen where people just are having a conversation like that, like you'll see them when they're video gaming, and then they have the little box where they're talking while they're doing the video, or just in general doing a real recap, like a 10 or 15 minute recap on Goonies and why they liked it. And they do it, but everything that she said, they put into play. They're consistent about when they upload them. The editing's the same. The way they film them is the same. They go after the people that are that love movies, and so you follow all of the things that she just said, and put it into place. But you can adapt, like she said, started off with Bachelor and then adapt into other things. So you can start doing it one way, and then grow with it. If you're making money and you want to get better equipment, or you want to you'll notice a lot of those YouTubers, like the quality on a lot of them isn't that great to begin with when you watch their early first few, and then you learn as you go. But important to, whatever you do, like she said, have a niche, post at the same time every time, keep it the same, keep the branding the same, keep your content the same. Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah. I don't see any in the chat board. If you guys come back on next Wednesday, I'm going to go into and help you guys figure out and talk through what some of your side hustles are, and try to help you navigate and go through some ideas and kind of talk through what would work for you, and some other social media tips. And go and watch Kelly. Go watch Kelly's stuff.
Thank you so
And I'll put the link to that Google Slides presentation on one of those posts for this event, so that if you guys ever want to go back and look, it'll be there.
Yeah.
My mom's making me laugh in the chat. Calling me Miss Johns. Like, okay. Thanks, Mom. Love you. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. This was a much larger group of people than I expected. So thank you. I hope everyone learned at least a little bit of something.
Thanks, Kelly.
Happy Easter if you celebrate Easter.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.